out.
Okay. Wow. Hi, Merry Christmas. I'm hoping this is working. I think it's working. We had, a long time ago technical issues with Restream and getting it out to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, but it looks like I've got comments coming from both. So Peggy, Merry Christmas. Zach, how's it going? Good to see you. Glad you guys are here. Deborah, I knew you'd be here. I'm shocked you're not the first one to comment, actually. So Merry Christmas. Having a little Christmas bourbon. Katie and Lexi are in the room, and they're both dying of laughter. They're both, you get the giggles when at the worst possible time. Cody, Merry Christmas to you. Dana, Merry Christmas. Julie, hello, Merry Christmas. Mary Ellen, good to see everybody. Great to see everybody. We were talking about this. Katie was like, nobody's going to be here. Nobody's coming to this. And I know it's a little later than we normally do our lives, but we wanted to get out to Christmas dinner and enjoy some ramen and come home, and now we're all enjoying the Christmas beverage, and glad to have you guys with me. Leslie, how you doing? Oh, you're still at work. I'm so sorry to see that. Merry Christmas, Tracy. Tracy says, Merry Christmas, guys. You don't get, like I said, I don't know if you've met Tracy Gambo, but Katie has.
Merry Christmas.
Can you hear?
Could I hear
probably
that?
get a little closer.
Well, you said not to be too close. So
Oh, yeah, I just mean you don't hold right up to you next. Here, come over. Lexi will come over and say hi.
It's true.
Kim, Merry Christmas. So, oh, there it was. I knew it. You're fine. It's quite a setup in here, so for getting over here without knocking something over, it's kind of a Christmas miracle.
Hello.
So this is my oldest. You've heard me talk about a lot. She visits often. This is Lexi. Merry Christmas, Susan. Good to see you. I love that this is working, that I'm getting things from YouTube and Facebook. That's awesome. Try not to over. Stay down. Keep going. Stay down. And you're clear. All right. Well done. So what's everybody doing on Christmas Eve? What do you guys, do you have traditions? Do you have things that you must do? We've been pretty lax. Well, not everybody. Katie's wrapped some gifts. And I think Lexi wrapped some today.
I did.
Yeah, but I have not wrapped anything. So I've still got to wrap gifts. I wanted to get this knocked out. Merry Christmas, Tammy. Teresa, Merry Christmas. Great to see you guys. Thanks for joining me. For those of you who don't know, I do a Christmas Eve live every year. This is the nicest setup I've ever had because Chris and I are actually doing this for real now, so we have better equipment. He wishes you well. Neither one of us wanted to travel to the other's house, so we're not doing this together. But I'm thrilled to be here. Tammy, Merry Christmas. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. But anyway, each year, we chat a little bit and talk about Christmas and whatever you got going on. Merry Christmas to you, Peggy. And then I put up a poll on Instagram, Facebook, I think, on YouTube about which story to read. And we had a fairly clear winner. So some of you may be disappointed, depending on which one you were rooting for. But that'll happen in just a few minutes. Marianne, Merry Christmas. Tom Cheney's in the house.
Hi, Tom.
Katie says hi, Tom. It's great to see you, buddy.
Hi, Tom.
Tom, taking time out from his Christmas hooker appointment.
Tom has a Christmas hooker? That's festive.
It's not just Christmas. I mean, it's all the time.
Oh.
But he has a special one that he gets every year for Christmas, and he's lovely.
Are we joking around?
I don't know if this is real.
If we're being serious, then we should probably say something nicer than hooker.
No, Tom is a classic guy. It's absolutely a high-priced call girl. I can promise you that. Let's see. Merry Christmas, Cynthia.
Merry Christmas to Tom's call girl.
Tammy, watching 24 Hours of Christmas Story. Always a tradition. Nice. I love that. Merry Christmas, Lisa. Kim Fields. Tootie? Oh, just watched 911 Dispatch track Santa through Hawkins County. Nice. Susan, wrapped gifts, prepped all the food for tomorrow. Nice. Jenny, Merry Christmas. Wrapping presents, listening to Christmas music. David and son Blake, both in the house. How you doing, David? Good to see you. I won't share in public what you texted me earlier, David, but David had to stand up to somebody this holiday. He had a family issue and basically got in somebody's face. Said, hey, look, you're going to behave. And it worked out great.
I love that.
So I love that.
Love some Christmas justice.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be around family for the holidays, you might as well expect there's going to be some trouble. That's just what happens. Not Tootie. Damn. Very disappointed there. David says it's good. You can tell it. Oh, excellent. Hang on. Well, let me just read it then because it's a fun story. Give me 20 seconds. Anyone having a Christmas beverage? Are we the only ones? Whiskey sour, 7 and 7. And just an Eagle Rare bourbon for me. The 7 and 7, a quick story. I think I've told this before on Christmas about my mom. She was not a drinker by any stretch of the imagination. She really hardly ever drank. In fact, the only memory I have Tom says she's not a professional. At least I don't think so. Not judging by her performance so far. So she's got an upper game.
No, if she is, though, then that sounds like a pretty good one if you can't tell.
Well, that's true. It's seamless. I
Seamless.
guess that's nice. He doesn't feel like she's...
Very nice.
Okay.
Shout out to her.
Crown and Coke for Kim. Very nice. Merry Christmas, Patricia. So anyway, my mom, she wasn't a drinker, but we would go to midnight mass every Christmas. And then when we got home, she would have like 2 highballs or 2 7 and 7s, 2 drinks. And she'd get all giggly and happy. And that was the extent of her drinking during the year, which, I mean, she didn't really want to drink that much because my dad was an alcoholic. So when you got one in the family, you really can't have 2. It's kind of like Katie and I. I'll let you guess which one is which. All right, so David sends me this text earlier. So we're at Lisa's mother's house. For 30 plus years, I've had to listen to her stepdad spew his venom. Today, I had had enough. I just told him he's either going to be quiet and keep his negative mouth shut, or we're leaving. I'm not going to listen to it this year. My grandbabies don't need to hear him. Either be nice and cordial, or we're leaving. He got mad and went to the barn. LOL. We're still here. I love family get-togethers. Nice.
Here's
Well
that.
done. Well done, David. That's awesome. Hey, Susan, I think we know which is which. I don't know if I should be insulted or not. Katie Lisa says hello, Merry Christmas.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Josh, thanks. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. I'm so happy that you guys showed up. That's very cool. And it's cool, too, because now that we've got this thing working, I can see Facebook comments and YouTube comments. Susan, yeah, good going, David. Everybody likes to see the standing up to the family thing. I don't think we ever had a lot of that kind of drama in our family. We're close in that we love each other, but we don't get together a lot because everybody's spread out. So it's not quite that way. Now, when I say family, I mean like when I was a kid, my parents and uncles and aunts and stuff like that. There's Katie coming on and commenting on Facebook. Jessica, Merry Christmas. Great to see you. So tradition-wise around here, I mean, we have, Katie and I were both, I was raised by my grandparents basically, and she was very close to her grandparents. So we have a lot of the same kind of things we love. Old school Christmas music. Now let's see, hang on a second. Give me 20 seconds here. Scott Bohannon. Miss you too, buddy. Merry Christmas. Thanks for the great pictures you've been sending. So hang on just a sec. Ooh. So behind me over here, I don't know if you can see. You should be able to. Hold on. You got the Christmas with Conniff. That's the one that Katie went out and found for me. That was like, for me, that's Christmas. When that album plays, that sounds like Christmas. And then Very Special Christmas, right there. Came out in 1987, and that's great. Oh, sorry, David, you're late to the party. Who's there with you? It seems like I hear 2 female voices. You do. You hear Katie off mic over here laying down on the sofa, and then Lexi has a microphone.
Hi. Should I pop back over there?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Pop back over?
Come say
Anyone
hi.
miss me?
Susan, was that sweater a gift? Why, you don't think I would wear this on my own? It was a gift, yes. But I love it. That's my Christmas story one. The show we put up the other day, I had my Slayer one on. Thank you, Peggy. So, David, yeah, there's Lexi.
It's me.
Yep.
We have the same haircut right now.
That's what Meredith said, my youngest. Yours is a little shorter. So, I won't go through all, but stack of albums, and these are all Christmas albums. And just to give you an idea of the kind of stuff we listen to around here. Sorry about the glare. Andy Williams, you got Sinatra. And you go through this whole thing. There's Dean Martin in here, Elvis is in here, Willie Nelson, Mitch Miller. I mean, like old school, old-fashioned music. And I like some of the new stuff. I like Michael Bublé. And I like Kill Me, but I love Wham! Last Christmas. I love Mariah Carey. The song that everybody seems to hate, but I love that song. David says, sup, Lexi, your dad is cool. He's 100% correct about that.
Well, yeah, I guess.
He's okay. Tracy, Holiday Traditions channel on Sirius XM. Awesome for Christmas music from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Yes, indeed. And Teresa says, hi, Lexi. I feel like I know you. He talks about his kids a lot. That's good.
It better all be good.
It is. I think mostly.
Mostly.
Hang on
Hi,
a second.
Teresa. Thank you for the shout out.
Just to make sure that we don't have a problem, because it sounds like I'm being threatened here by, where are you? Dana. Wouldn't be Christmas without it, Dana. You better believe I got it. Got to have Bing Crosby in there. I mean, who are you going to listen to sing White? You can't. Nobody can sing White Christmas except Bing Crosby, right? Last Christmas, yeah, Marianne, thank you. Yvonne, Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for those wishes. Wow, Susan, I saw Andy Williams in Atlanta at the Fox Theater in the 90s. He was still fabulous. Impressive. Wow. Peggy says, Merry Christmas, Katie.
Merry Christmas.
David, where's the Kenny and Dolly Christmas album? No collection is complete without it. Well, I don't have that one. Sorry. I love Kenny Rogers, love Dolly Parton, but I don't have that album. And I just haven't come across it, but I'm sure eventually. I mean, Hard Candy Christmas. I've got the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas soundtrack, or Katie does actually. So we get Hard Candy Christmas, and really that's all you need. Because the rest of them, why? Why would you? I love Kenny and Dolly, but that's just having worked in country music for so long, if I'm home listening to Christmas music, I usually don't want to listen to country music because it just feels like I'm working if I do that. I do have the Willie Nelson one, because I mean, he's Willie Nelson, so he doesn't count, but it's a Cracker Barrel. Katie ran into somebody today who was complaining about Cracker Barrel. And this is still that old story that came out like, I don't know, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, where people were upset that they had added some impossible like burgers and sausage to the menu, as if that matters to anybody. Don't order it if you don't like it. But Cracker Barrel's getting woke. No, Cracker Barrel's trying to appeal to more people, so they will come eat at their restaurant. Anyway, this woman was complaining about Cracker Barrel. Let's see, Teresa. Johnny Mathis, Tom Chaney for the win. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. That's a good one. Very nice indeed. Oh, if you can hear that, that's Henry scratching. Wow. He's leaning up against the sofa.
He's really getting in there.
You okay, buddy?
Hey.
We had to have Henry down here, the rest of them, because Lexi brings her 2 dogs over when she comes, and then our other 2, it would have been chaos. So this is...
Mine are 2 of the ones that it's good that they're small, because if they were normal size, they would just be the worst dogs ever.
They're already pretty bad.
But they're little. They're fine, but they're annoying.
They're sweet, but they do what little dogs do.
That being said, if anyone else says anything bad about them besides me, it's on site.
There you go. Teresa, I would love to show you my pets. The camera's on a tripod, and it's too much trouble to move it around. But let me see. I don't think I have any pictures on this computer. I'll get some before we do this again. I promise. Tennessee Christmas, Alabama. That's a great one. Mary Helen Cracker Barrel has Impossible Burgers. Now I'll go there. See, that's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't you add something to get people to go? And David, Cracker Barrel serves beer and such, and the church ladies nearly had a stroke. I mean...
Cracker Barrel serves beer?
Some of them do, yeah.
And Impossible Burgers? Maybe I will go there now.
I know, it sounded a lot cooler. And it's got the little game with the tees, the golf tees. I do like that one.
The you're a genius or you're an idiot game.
Until they start serving hard liquor, it's okay. Food's okay. I'm not against Cracker Barrel. I just don't ever go, we should go to Cracker Barrel. It's always somebody who's visiting from a part of the country who doesn't have Cracker Barrel that wants to go there, usually. So we go.
I've had friends do the same thing with Shoney's, and I'm like, it's really not.
Well, I don't want to run off any possible potential advertisers, but Shoney's there are like a lot of restaurants, in my opinion, where they used to be, I think, pretty good, and their breakfast bar was killer. And then they just kind of started cutting some corners, and they wanted to do things cheaper, like TGI Fridays. When my kids were little, we used to go to Fridays all the time. It was great, and the food was really good and fun, and then just they started going downhill. Thank you, Susan. I'm glad you think the tree is pretty. If you go to, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should do that. I've got a reel up today that shows kind of the whole tree and what we like to leave for Santa. And it's actually on YouTube as well. We put it up as a YouTube short. So if you go check that out, you get a better look at the tree. David commented on that earlier. Only one Cracker Barrel in Connecticut that I know of.
Oh my God, they have Cracker Barrel in Connecticut?
Apparently so.
That's farther north than I expected.
Yeah. David is no fan of Shoney's, the throw up emoji. And Cracker Barrel puts garlic powder on everything. Even the desserts? Because that's gross. Yeah, oh, that's nice.
There it is.
I don't know if you can hear.
Christmas Carol.
In the distance. That's Sue. Sue is our second oldest dog, and he's our smallest dog. And I don't know what it is about this guy. It's like he's wearing a watch. We joke that he wears a watch because we have to keep the dogs traded out because Henry and Sue don't get along. They've gotten into some pretty bad fights, so we just have to keep them separated constantly. So we trade out dogs about every 2.5 hours, so everybody has a chance to hang out down here and whatever. And at the 2-hour mark, almost to the minute, anytime he's up there, he will start barking to remind us, hey, you got to let me out of here. Because he has to be put in a crate because he can't be trusted. I love him, but he can't be trusted. He's torn up comforters and every other thing. Tracy, we did add some new ornaments this year.
Show him the penguin. He's so cute.
Yeah, I can't.
He's old.
Oh.
It's way over there. I can't get to them. I'm sorry. That's one thing about having the camera. It's on a tripod far away. It's hard for me to move that kind of stuff around. I should have taken some shots that I could have included in this. I'm learning as I go how to use this new software. So, Marion discovered the song "New York City Christmas" by Rob Thomas last year. I love it. He's the Matchbox 20 guy. Right?
I was just gonna say Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20, which only was because we just watched that Always Sunny episode where he and Sinbad are in it.
Oh, right. Nice. That microphone's pretty far away from you, so there you go. There you go. They'll be able to hear you better if you hold it.
Okay, sorry. I've been scared to hold it too close.
What do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know. I thought that I might like
No, you're fine.
deafen them all, or like it would make a weird sound.
Well, now it's gonna make weird sounds as you're trying to clip it on.
Oh,
We're already started, so just don't worry.
Sorry.
Yeah, the MTV ornament's pretty badass.
Oh, that one makes the sound. Can you?
Oh yeah, if you guys haven't, let's see. Hang on. Well. Oh, actually, it's not. This one I can take off. If you haven't seen this one.
Fun.
Then,
I was gonna say, show them your tattoo.
My love of MTV goes deep. I've shown many of you this before, but that's one of my tattoos.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're all about MTV. I grew up on MTV, man. Music videos, that was the stuff.
I used to watch those. They did top 100 songs of like all the decades. The top 100 songs of the 80s. I used to always watch that in high school whenever that would come on.
That was the stuff. I love when they did the one-hit wonders specials and count down the one-hit. Because I love one-hit wonders. There's so many of those songs. A lot of them are garbage, but one-hit wonders from the 80s are still really good songs. I find that one-hit wonders from the 90s, not so much.
Like what?
Like Tub Thumping, Chumbawamba. That song sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other one-hit wonders from the 90s.
I mean, I know there were some, but I wasn't listening to a lot of different kinds of music in the 90s.
She's So High, Tall Bachman.
Oh, Tall Bachman. Yeah, well, he's the one that left the Mormon faith, I think. Didn't he leave the?
I don't know.
One of them-
He definitely, his voice has that vibe of someone who left the Mormon faith.
You're gonna lose people.
Okay, sorry. Why? Because we're talking about the Mormons.
This is very.
You're falling asleep.
No, I'm trying to escape it.
Wow. Getting roasted over here. It's boring. Stop boring everybody.
Dang.
Sorry. Jesus. Amadeus is a classic, yes. David's a big Kiss fan, for those who don't know. Kiss, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley ornaments. Nice. Putting on the Ritz, Taco. Yep. And, I mean, what's crazy about Falco and Amadeus is, I mean, technically, here in America, that was his only hit. But Der Kommissar, which is a one-hit wonder by a band called After the Fire, was originally his song. But he didn't get a hit out of it. They made it a hit, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, all right, well, I don't want to keep everybody too long here. Martha Quinn, right, Tom? Teresa's asking if Puppet Katie's going to be on. She was not into that tonight. Puppet Katie was invited, but real Katie did not want to be a part of this. She doesn't want to be associated with me, especially around Christmas. Now I'm getting the look. No, she didn't. She just wasn't up for it, so Puppet Katie will not be making an appearance. She didn't even want to hold a microphone. You know, Tom, Martha Quinn's still working. She's doing, I think, morning radio out in San Francisco on their 80s station. She sounds good, too. She was like one of the only ones that I thought was actually kind of talented on MTV. Not that the other guys weren't great, but their interview skills were weak. And now the two dudes that are still alive, whatever their names are, they're on Sirius XM on their 80s station, and they're not good. It's weird. All right, so we did a poll about which story we would do, and we'll let the story be the wrap here. If you have kids, this is a great opportunity to let them hear, because I know some people are funny about like reading to their kids. They want to, but they don't have the vibe. Lexi can tell you that I used to read to them all the time, and there are some characters I could actually do the voices. Like we talked about this the other night. Grover.
Oh, the monster at the end of this book.
Yeah, Grover from Sesame Street.
The voices, I can definitely attest.
Yeah,
very good. And
then Elmo, in later years, I could do Elmo. I did Barney when you were obsessed with Barney.
Oh, man. Nothing will top the phone call with Baby Bob.
If you remember Barney, Lexi was obsessed, and Baby Bob was one of the other, like the little dinosaur on there. And a really dear friend of mine was friends with the actress who played Baby Bob. And so we arranged a phone call from Baby Bob to Lexi. And she was like 2, and she was just on the phone just going, like never said a word, didn't say hi, nothing, just total silence and shock. It was amazing. Mark Goodman, thanks, David. Yeah, he's one of them. He's not good. I'm sorry. Anyway, so the way I've got this, I wanted to not just be sitting here reading a book, so I did put together a little thing. Still reading it, but where the pages will come up, so you don't have to just sit here and look at me reading. But the winner of this year's thing, and I've got to say, Merry Christmas, Susan. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I love this story, but I've done it before. I've only done the one that didn't win once, so I was kind of wanting that to win, but that was not meant to be. So for tonight, it will be How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Hope you enjoy it.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. "And they're hanging their stockings," he snarled with a sneer. "Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here." Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, "I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming." For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise! Oh, the noise, 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 noise! That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise! Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together, with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, "I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?" Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. "I know just what to do," the Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, "Oh, what a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer." The Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" And the sleigh started down, toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. "These stockings," he grinned, "are the first things to go." Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimbley. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree." And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound, like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small who, little Cindy Lou Who, was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn. All the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. "Pooh-pooh to the Who's," he was Grinchishly humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry. Very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes, then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing, without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
Hey, there you go. Thanks for the very sweet comments during that. Love it. Love you guys. Appreciate you taking time out of Christmas Eve, late in the evening, to join for this. And if you are watching on YouTube, awesome. If you have not checked out our YouTube channel yet, you have not subscribed to that channel yet, we invite you to do that. We hope you will. We continue to do new shows. We're going to be adding a lot of different kinds of content in 2023. We're really super excited. It's growing like gangbusters, and we really appreciate you for that. So have a wonderful Christmas, a Merry Christmas. Enjoy time with family. From our family to yours, we wish you the very best in 2023 as well. Chris and I will have a Christmas message going up this weekend, and we'll be back with regular shows next week. And we thank you very much. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate that. Thanks, Teresa. All right. Merry Christmas. Love you guys. Take care. Hey, you want to say Merry Christmas, Lexi?
Merry Christmas!
Katie, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There you go. You got Katie at the end. That's the biggest blessing of all.
Tiny Tim.
What's that?
I said Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim did. All right. Love you guys. Take care. Merry Christmas.